stop coding boilerplate and start selling subscriptions. When building all of my new SaaS products, I kept getting tired of doing the same grunt work, setting up auth, setting up the database, the dashboard, the styling, the AI integration. I got tired of it, so I figured why not just make my own starter kit that has all this latest tech that I use, and that way I don't have to waste time setting it up and can get to actually building what makes my product unique. And that's exactly what I did with my starter kit here, and I'm giving it away to you guys for free today. So in this video, I'll give a brief overview of what's in my starter kit. We will walk through the entire setup process. It's super easy. And then all the links I provide will be in the description below. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's download the zip folder of the repo. So I'm in the repo here. I'm gonna click download zip. Awesome. I'll go to my downloads folder, unzip that. Cool. Just gonna move it into my development folder so it's easier to find. Awesome. Now I'm gonna open Cursor, my IDE of choice. You can of course use whatever IDE you want. And then I'm gonna go to open project, go to my development folder, see our project right here, click open. First things first, let's run npm-if to get all the packages downloaded locally. We need to run our application. Cool. Once that is done, we need to duplicate our end.template file. This file has all the secret keys we need to fill in for our application. I'll take you guys through the step of it all. But what I can do is just make .env.local. So these variables will be used in local development. Take the template file, Control-A, Control-C, Control-V to paste it all. Cool. Now we have all these to set up. And then in my terminal, I'm going to run our application, npm run dev. Should load on localhost port 3000. Cool. Now if I actually went to this URL, it's going to crash because we don't have these variables set up yet. Yep, pulled up on my other screen, but if I pull it up here, yeah, we can see big time errors missing these keys. So let's start addressing those. Now the first step we need to do is go to ngrok.com and download Ngrok and install. It takes 2 seconds, super easy. And what this will do is allow us to expose our local host, which has the endpoints to receive the webhooks from the various services in our stack, like Clerk and Stripe, to receive those webhooks, right? Because if you think about it, Clerk and Stripe, they live in a production environment. So when someone successfully signs up via auth for Clerk, when someone successfully buys a subscription with Stripe, that event needs to get sent to us so we can confirm and do other actions from it. This diagram gives a good example of the flow of a webhook and how it works in our application for Stripe subscriptions. So you can say someone wants to upgrade to Pro. So our front end sends a request to our back end, says, hey, send this person to the Stripe checkout page. We hit the Stripe API to give them a custom page, send that back to the front end. The front end then navs the user to the Stripe checkout page. Let's say they fill out all their info, credit card, it's a success. That event is then sent to our backend, which we're exposing via Ngrok. And then once we verify that event's a success, we create that subscription record in our database, return it back, and then give the user back their pro status on the front end to give them the premium features. Now that we have Ngrok installed, we can expose that port locally by opening up a new terminal here in our IDE and saying Ngrok HTTP 3000, the port of our local host. Click enter, and boom, we can see now that localhost 3000 is available on this URL here. So make sure you have that handy because we'll need it later. The first part of our tech stack we're going to set up is Clerk. Go to clerk.com. They have authentication, a lot of perks. They have Google sign up, a bunch of other social media signups. They have confirmation emails for people that use email sign up. They have reset password functionality. So they really do handle a lot of the dirty work with auth and integrate very nicely into our NextJS application. So I'll just create a fresh application from start for demo purposes. We can just call this demo 1. I'll leave on email and Google Auth and click create. And once that's done, we'll be brought to our dashboard view here. And right off the bat, we want these two secrets here, the publishable key and clerk secret key. So I'll click copy, should get them both. And then in our env.local file, yep, these two keys should match. Cool, so I'll paste them up here. Awesome. Now we need to get the webhook secret from Clerk. This will be the secret that's used to handle the events that the Clerk authentication will send when users successfully sign up or sign in. To find that, we'll go back to Clerk, click the Configure tab here, and then scroll down on the left, we should see webhooks, and we're going to want to create a new webhook. So we'll click Add Endpoint. Now remember that Ngrok URL I talked about earlier right here. Let's make sure we copy that, paste it in here, and then we're going to want to say /API, which is our API in our NextJS app, auth, the subgroup it's in, and the name of the endpoint, webhook. And then from there, we just want to subscribe to a few events. It's these 3 user events. So that way when someone signs up or updates their info or deletes their account, we will get that event from Clerk and handle it properly to clean up our database and remove Stripe stuff, etc. Then we'll click create here, and then this will give us the webhook secret here. Take this, copy it, put it in our 3rd environment variable. Boom, and we're already 1 tech stack done. All right, next up, we will set up Supabase, our database management for our application. This will host some of the user data, the subscriptions, and their credit usage. It's a simple table schema we have, but it's enough to handle what we need for our MVP, for our starter kit. So create an account in Supabase if you don't already. They're a great service, supabase.com. And same thing, we will make a new project. I'll call this demo 1 again. I'll just pick the region closest to me for testing for now, and we'll create a new project. And don't forget to give it a password, of course, and now we can click create new project. Awesome, we'll be brought to this screen when it's all done. First things first is, again, we want a variable to fill out. That's the project URL here. Whoa, flipped on me. But we'll click copy, go to our env.local, paste that here. Awesome. Now we need the Supabase service keys. Let's see if I can get this blindly. I'll go to project settings on the left, API keys, and then we will click this service role key. Now be careful because, as the dashboard says, this key has the ability to bypass role level security. Never share it, but that's no worries because we're putting it in our environment variable, not as a public one. Paste that there. Cool. Now we should be all set to access our database. Now we want to actually make all the tables we need to store user info, subscriptions, and credit usage. And thankfully, if you go into the docs folder here on the left, I have all the commands. We can go into them, but it pretty much does everything I just said. So we can Control A, copy it all, Control C, go back to Supabase, go to SQL Editor, make a new snippet, Command V to paste it all, blind run it, boom. Now we can go to our table editor, see our 4 new tables. These will of course be empty, but for users, to track their subscriptions, to track their credit usage limits, and each of their individual credit logs. Okay, we have Clerk to handle user sign up. We have Supabase to store our info. Now let's start collecting some money and set up Stripe. So I'm not going to cover the steps to actually make a Stripe account, but those are pretty straightforward. Again, all links to do it in the description. But once you're in your account, first make sure you're in test mode, of course. And we're going to want to make a new product people can subscribe to and we can check them out from. So we'll go to product catalog here and click create product. I'm just going to call this demo 1, name of our app, pro plan for now. Now our demo app has subscription models for 3 tiers, for monthly and yearly. So I'll be more specific and just call this monthly pro plan. And then you can set up all the billing info you want. I'll just do $9.99 for simplicity. Billing period is monthly. Cool. You can, of course, add images for your plans, but just for demo's sake, we'll skip that. And I'll click Add Product. Once we have our product created, we want the price ID, which is what we'll use to create the checkout sessions and know how much to charge users monthly. So we'll click into the product and then click again on the price right here. Then it's kind of small on the top right. We have the price ID. I will copy this, go back to our local environment, put it as the Pro monthly price ID. Again, the remaining 5 or however many other tiers you want for your plan. Now we need these other 2 keys for Stripe, the secret key for our account and the actual webhook secret. So we go back here and then we can open this developers tab in the bottom just by clicking it. And our secret key will be front and center, this guy. So we'll copy this key, paste it here. We're pros at this now. Now we need to make the actual webhook that will send success events when users purchase a subscription and their recurrent paying is successful. So we'll go to the webhooks tab, again in the developer workbench. We have none, so we need to create one, click add destination. We're using our account, and now we have to select the 5 events we want for our app. Now pay close attention here, but it's pretty simple. We want customer subscription deleted, created, and updated, I believe. Yep. And then 2 more. I'll collapse customer, go down to invoice, and I want invoice payment failed and invoice payment succeeded. So 5 total. I'll click continue, make this a normal webhook. And then again, we need our Ngrok URL that we made in the beginning. Copy that and add on just the ending text again, which is /API/payments, this time /webhook. Click create. And one last step for Stripe is we need the signing secret for the webhook. So it's right here. We'll reveal it, copy it, and paste it in the Stripe webhook secret section. Cool. And one last step, let's set up the OpenAI integration, because what's a SaaS these days if it has no AI? You can honestly skip this step if you have no AI integration, but I recommend doing it even just for the learning purpose. So I made another little diagram just how it works. So in the front end, in the chat I showed in the beginning, we'll make a chat request. Then our backend says, hey, this user wants to make a chat request. Get who they are and go and check if they have any credits available. I think for our system we have like 500 credits for the pro plan per month or something. So if they have credits, we say, cool, let's deduct one. So then we say, okay, we're all set. Now let's go and ask OpenAI for a response for the initial chat. Then we get that chat back and give it back to the front end. So if we go to platform.openai.com, up here, I'll make a new project, demo 1. Once our new project, I'll click dashboard up here and then click API keys. Let's make a new API key. I'll call it demo 1 key. For our project demo 1, I'll create it. Cool. This could be the easiest step overall. And then our environment variable, we'll paste it here. Cool, we have all our environment variables. So now let's do a run through of the sign up and subscription flow of the app. So npm run dev was still running. So if I refresh this, it should navigate us to the sign in page. Yep, because our middleware caught it. Let's just go back to the home page for demo purposes. Cool, let's click get started. Should bring us to the sign up page. I'm going to sign in with Google. It's just the easiest, quickest way for me right now. I'll click my personal email. It's so nice that Clerk's handling all this. And once we load in, yep, it knew we didn't have a subscription. So it shoves us to the hard paywall on the onboarding route. Cool. We of course only made one subscription so far, so I'm going to say give me that pro plan. Now this should navigate us to the Stripe checkout page. I don't want to use a link and you can just use a real credit card or a test card. They have tests online. I always use the rule 424242 for everything, even the zip code, I guess. And we'll click subscribe. This should then send that event to our webhook in our NextJS backend, which will verify this is a legit success event, create the subscription in our backend, and then allow us to access the app when we try to reload the dashboard. Okay, that worked. Fingers crossed. And we're in. Look at that toast too. Forgot about that. Cool. So if we go to our profile, has our first and last name, all which was included on our Google account. We can view our plan. Yep, we have 500 credits, 0 used. Today's July 3rd, so credits and subscriptions will renew on August 3rd. Awesome. There's more settings here to cancel subscription, delete account. If I wanted to go to the max plan, I could click here or here. I could also switch to color theme down here. Wow, this is bright. There's the profile page, the dashboard. This is all fake info, but you can imagine you can fill this all out. And to test the OpenAI integration on the left, we can navigate to it and send a simple test message like, how do I build a web dev agency? And we should be able to stream the results back. Okay, awesome. Gave us a good response there. We had the markdown. We can even ask a follow-up question like, tell me 10 more tips. And it should be able to handle the whole chat context. Let me know how your setup goes as you use this to build your own SaaS, whether it's your first or 100th, to save you all that initial boilerplate work. I'll be reading the comments daily, so if I can assist, let me know. If you learn anything from this video, you're obligated to like, subscribe for more videos, because I'll be doing a demo on how I use this repo to build more fleshed out projects using this repo as a starting point, so you can definitely learn stuff from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, all links to get started are in the description. Thanks.